Tim. I have to wonder how you're somehow even less excited than you were before to be making a video, or at least, I don't know, maybe you're just burnt out from work. Um, Regards to Oliver Stone, I don't know if the movie will be any more entertaining. I personally, watching the previews, I don't find it entertaining in the slightest. Um, I think the mantra that I saw on some banner on the internet, that George W. Bush can't run for office again, so stop campaigning against him, is correct. You can beat a dead horse as much as you want, but you can't make it drink. Which, you know, coming on the heels of his September 11th picture, I kind of feel that the turn he's taken into politics is ultimately just destructive for his relevance. If he had just stuck to natural-born killers repeatedly, he'd be beloved, as opposed to kind of a fringe figure at this point that no one really gives a shit about. My dad's wedding, we were never very close. He's been making inroads since I was, 18, 19 or so, to reestablish the contact that we never had. And I was personally very moved that he invited me to be his best man. Honestly, I think it was a big moment for him that I could go through the process with him. He does actually have a friend who lives up the street. They watch football together, though I believe they met through work. They don't actually have a history together. It is also his first marriage. I was born out of wedlock as a bastard. So, there's that. Honestly, there's also this thing called the Felsted Kiss of Death. He has been in 13 or 14 weddings now, including his own, and I believe all but 2 of them have ended in divorce. And so I'm kind of hoping that doesn't pass on. I don't really want to tank people's marriages unintentionally anyway. The ladies at Target, I get what you're saying, attractive but not attracted to. Most of that comes from the fact that they listen to shitty music, generally find themselves devoid of personality, especially the ones who are taking it as a part-time high school job as opposed to a part-time college job. I'm not sure what the huge difference is, other than the ones that take it as a high school job will probably never go to college, myself excluded, and are largely dumpster sluts. No offense to underage girls who work at Target. I'm sure you're beautiful people inside dumpsters. I actually have been hit on at work, so I don't know. Usually by very awkward girls, and I would never act on it. And Claire, you remember Claire, delightful. I convinced her very briefly. I shouldn't say I convinced her. I told her she should break up with her boyfriend, and he broke up with her the next day, but then they got back together. So, not really useful to anyone. I don't believe studded tires are legal here. Chained tires are legal. There are chain-up spots heading into the mountains. I will not be chaining my tires. I'm from Wisconsin. We don't need chains on our tires, and I hope people here know how to drive without them, because I'm not putting them on. That does worry me, though. You mentioned I-95 or I-94 closing. I-25 through Denver, north to south, is a cluster every day. The first day I was driving on it, there was a large computer-sized flaming box in the road that I had to swerve around in a cargo van in rush hour traffic. This is indicative of my entire experience with I-25. I'm really frightened by winter coming. I think it's going to be an absolute mess, and hopefully I just stop going to work. And you're telling me about how your webcam wouldn't record for some reason. I thought you were just doing it so you could be most def, high def. I text a lot. I have the sleek NV2 with full QWERTY keyboard. That's actually why I got it, so I could text more. I don't Twitter, though, because I'm pretty sure no one gives a shit about anything that I'm doing. Just throwing that out there. I did, however, have a lovely visit from Comcast today. They woke me up at 10 a.m., which is when I was still sleeping, and they were replacing my modem, not with one that is conceivably better. I mean, it's still, I think, a piece of shit. But this one does telephone as well. The interesting thing here is that I was not told of this, and when I called to ask, I was told by my landlady that he was supposed to come later in the day, when I also wouldn't have been home. I asked him about it, and he told me that she had given him the key to the little realtor's key box that's still on the door that they never removed. I'm pretty sure she can't legally just hand that out to give access to random people to my apartment without my knowledge. I know she can't in Wisconsin, maybe Colorado differs, but I don't know, he seemed really creeped out by it too, and I was just like, yeah, that's kind of unsettling. I called the post office while he was here, as well as doing my laundry and cleaning my entire apartment, because I couldn't leave, and there's not really that much I can do without the internet when other people are here. So, especially when they're screwing with the cable. The post office requested that I put a note in my mailbox telling them to deliver my mail. I told them, why don't they just tell the post office to deliver my mail, since they are the post office, instead of me calling and being told to leave a note, at which point they then left a note for the carrier, who's apparently hard of hearing, which I don't understand why that has anything to do with a note. I'm not particularly fond of Bill Maher. I think he's smug. I'm smug, but he's more smug. I am kind of interested in this religiosity, not because I'm interested in the movie, but because there is a counter-Christian band that formed, and I'm not sure if it's a parody, like a marketing ploy, kind of like a street team thing, or whether it's a legitimate anti-religiosity band, and they have a really funny webcomic, the punchline to which is, while looking at a crippled man, I guess if you don't walk with God, you don't walk with anyone, which I felt was hilarious. I'm currently watching Babylon 5, which I may have mentioned in the previous episode. It's an awesome show. I'm looking for samples for a techno remix that I will never put together, centering around Kosh's statement, "There is a hole in your mind." Eric and I have been talking about that for a while. I also mentioned this to him, and he said that it was quote-unquote gross, which it is. I honestly never thought that this is what my life would come to, although I guess my plan for much of the rest of the week may include playing Pokemon Emerald in my ongoing quest to catch them all. Let's not talk about that. Let's also not talk about anything that involves my father finger banging. I have seen him naked with strippers in a shower, covered in oil. I think that's really, I mean, there's no story there. That's how it went down, and that's really, I think, all anyone needs to know. It's interesting, though, I think when we go back and forth, this is really just the slowest discussion ever about any given topic, but now it's like a multi-thread thing, and conceivably could just keep branching out. It would be nice to get Sean involved. I'd almost like to see Jake involved, just because I think he'd get really frustrated and spiteful very quickly. Or we could all just start playing Warhammer Online, which I've been contemplating doing, but I really don't agree with monthly fees. I'm a little creeped out that you ended with a wink too, but I don't know what to say about that. So I hope the lighting is better this time. I brought a miniature lamp that I stole from my laundry closet, and the lighting test seemed a little more positive. I haven't really been showing up for work lately, and I don't really feel bad about it, since no one knows and no one cares. And that's the story of my week thus far.